Ready for this?
Yes, sir.
And it will keel.
The Partisan.
My name is Philip Schrei. I'm 36 years old. I'm from Spring, Texas. What I love the most about bladesmithing is the passion behind it, being able to create something that comes from the heart, and then seeing my daughter, who's about 4, taking pride in what Daddy just did, knowing that that's pretty cool, and she's molding her mind, and she can do it in the future one day, too.
The Partisan was a late Renaissance-era polearm used by European armies up until the early 19th century. Roughly 6 feet long, Partisans featured a large blade with a strong medial ridge and razor edge, making it as lethal a slasher as it was a thruster. The weapon also contained 2 upturned branches flared from the base of the blade, which helped the user parry and even control an opponent's weapon at a distance. With the onset of firearms, polearms lost practical use and mostly disappeared from combat. However, the Partisan lives on today as an ornate ceremonial weapon and is standard fashion for the yeomen of the guard, the bodyguards to the British monarchs.
The pira sword.
I'm Davey Wilson, I'm 49 years old, and I'm a master barber. Unfortunately, I'm losing the master barber's hair on top of my head. My dad and I took a class together, and after we built our very first knife, I looked over and I said, "Hey, you want to build another one?" He said, "I sure do." Part of the reason I am here now is to make Dad proud.
Featured in Season 7 of Forging Fire, the pira is an ornate, versatile sword used by the Yakan tribe in the southern Philippines. The weapon's unique blade shape and long pommel proved to be challenging for both smiths, who were ultimately forced to start over on the 3rd day of their builds. Ultimately, one smith was unable to secure the mechanical connection to her handle in time, forcing the judges to issue a vote of no confidence due to safety concerns.
The main thing I want to get accomplished today is forging out that socket. If I don't get that done, that's going to put me behind where I need to be for tomorrow. For the blade, I'm starting out with a good chunk of sheet steel, 1095 high carbon. There we go. Smiths have been making medial ridges for hundreds, if not thousands of years, but in all of my research that I found, I could not find how they traditionally put medial ridges on blades that were so pronounced. So I'm really having to go just a little different route than I think what is traditionally done. I'm gonna take bar stock, tack weld it, throw it in the forge weld it, throw a bead of weld, and then I'm gonna go in and clean up those welds so I get those really drastic curves. The weight of the piece is gonna be heavier, but I'm gonna have structural integrity. If that is sufficiently ground, I think we are ready to heat treat. I think we are good. Just gonna kind of do a dry fit and see where I'm at with the hole here. Not gonna peen it, I still need to take it all apart for some more work, but just getting that step in the process done and ready to move forward with it. Whoops. I'm thinking, it'll come right off, no problem. I was wrong. It's like, why am I taking this out if it fits so well? But to keep working on it, I need it out. Wow, I'm an idiot. That's not budging. I can't get it off. If I can't pull that off, I don't know what I'm gonna do. That's not budging. As I'm prying on this vise, trying to get the bar out, it dawns on me, heat up the metal, burn the wood, it'll come right out. Voila. Disaster averted. Of all the things to go wrong, right? A major build, $10,000 on the line. He prematurely gets his wooden staff stuck in it. So I'm not planning on testing right now. If it's gonna malfunction, if it's gonna break at this point, I want the judges to have the honor of destroying something that I've built, not me. I think that feels good.
Today, we're here in beautiful Branson, Missouri. I'm tasked with making the pira. The handle will probably be the most challenging part of this build. Well, hey, Dad. Hey. Had a visitor this morning. Just about to get started on this sword. Anytime in the past when Dad would stop in, he'd jump right in and help me with the knife build. I don't know if he was disappointed or relieved that he didn't have to help with this build.
I'd like to help on something like that, but At least it's a shorter one.
That's right. It's different than anything we've done before.
I'll see you later.
All right, see ya. Feels good. I believe that he's going to be extremely proud of how this blade performs. I believe we got a good straight blade. I'm having trouble just getting this walnut cut through, having to use some chisels. Sometimes it needs a little persuasion. Whew, finally it works. Once we epoxy and pin the blade to the handle, it's going to be one homogeneous piece. Looking good, it's holding there. I've got the handle to a comfortable point. Now it's time to test. It's pretty sharp, but it's not where it needs to be. For my first pira, I'm pretty happy with it.
Bladesmiths, this is the kill test. To test the lethality of your weapon, I will deliver killing blows on this ballistics dummy. Fill you up first. You ready for this?
Yes, sir, man. Let's do it. Going into this test, my heart's starting to pump a little faster. Doug's hopefully just going to destroy this ballistics dummy.
All right, Phil. The design you have here is scary. That's a very thick spine you have. The edges are sharp. As you can see, very deadly. The one thing about this is that it's heavy. That is something to take into account when you're carrying something like this into battle and you gotta move multiple times. But more importantly, your weapon will kill.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Davey, are you set, sir? You're next.
Yes, sir.
All right, Davey, let's talk about your pira sword here. First up in your design, it's a very forward-heavy weapon. As you can see just by looking at the spine, it's thick here and it tapers down to the guard. Now your edge is sharp. With a forward weight, it chops into the pig carcass, but slicing, not quite because you have to control the weight of the weapon, but it will kill.
Yeah, it will.
All right, gentlemen, it's time for the strength test, the pike push and armor stab. Now, the partisan was often used in castle or in city defense. So to test the overall strength and construction of your blades, I'll be pushing against these pikes with the blade and then stabbing into the armor. Now, this test is not about what your weapons do to the targets. It's about what those targets are going to do to your weapons. Philip, you're up first. You ready?
Yes, sir.
All right, Philip, this thing is a beast. The weight, the shape of your tip really makes it a good penetrating weapon. The issue I have is the partisan was a standoff weapon. Got to be able to control it. And at full extension, that weight's hard to control. I like the fact that you have this high medial ridge. I like your design. My only issue is the weight. Good job.
Thank you, sir.
Davey, your blade has to survive one strike on this brutal test, and if you do, you win. Dave?
All right, Davey. Man, there's a lot of weapon here. Your grinds are beautiful. I think your handle's beautiful and comfortable. There's no edge damage on this at all.
Awesome.
I would not run my finger down this blade. You nailed the heat treat on that. Good job.
Thank you.
Forged in Fire, War of Weapons.